We spent quite a bit of the stream, especially towards the end, solving a sort of bug that's been on the radar for months now. I had found a solution for the bug that I was doing as a temporary thing, which it's all to do with the dialogue boxes and their positioning, and the combination of those dialogue boxes and the positioning with the ×2 zoom that we use in the game clashes. So last night I posted this on the RPG Maker forums in hope that I could get a solution finally, because I mean, it's not the end of the world to not have a solution, because I have solved, like I say, I've got a little solution, even though in the long term it's not ideal, because I have to manually plot the coordinates and know the exact position, and it's extremely time consuming, especially at the stage we're at now, which is cutscenes. Anything like lots of dialogue in cutscenes will take like 4 times, 5 times as long, just because I haven't solved this the effective way, because I'm doing it the slow way. So that is why we've kind of gone off track a bit, and although we are doing the cutscenes, and I still want to do some of that today, because I don't want to spend forever doing this, I'm kind of hoping we can fix this, because then it'll just make life so much easier when doing cutscenes. And what I'm going to do, like, I posted this last night and somebody did have a solution, and I have been testing most of the day so far, and it's kind of not working right now, but maybe there is a way to do it, because basically someone's made a plugin. There's a big demand for this, and it's like only just been released, and I think my post is what made them decide to release it, which is great, because if I didn't post that, this wouldn't never have been a thing. And I think this is the solution to all our problems. Obviously, because it's still very early in development, it's going to be a bit buggy, which is totally normal. I paid for it as well because I'm desperate. It was only $2 though, so that makes me think it's definitely something I want to stick with, because I've paid for it and stuff, so I'm not going to give up now. But I've messaged them back. This person seems like they would definitely be good at communicating and seem passionate about their plugin, so I'm confident that we can get this fixed. But they haven't responded yet to the little issues I've come across, probably because it's still early in the day, so I might get an answer tonight. So I don't want to spend too much time to stream fussing about this, because they might have a super easy solution when they reply that I haven't thought of. But at the same time, I'm impatient and I want to see if I can do it, and if we can, it just makes the cutscenes easier. So I'm kind of tempted to try this first, so that we've got easier time with the cutscenes, rather than forget about it and do the cutscenes the hard, time-consuming way that we have been doing. And so there is a couple of issues, and I kind of just want to mess about today with trying to fix those. So we're going to be doing some test plays and stuff. Right. It's probably to do with plugin setups and compatibility issues, because this plugin works perfectly when you've only got the default RPG Maker with only this plugin in it. But because I have loads of plugins, there's a incompatibility issue somewhere, so we've got to just find out what that is. But let's just say I've kind of got a playtest here of a random custom hero. I've disabled a lot of the plugins at the moment, so the game isn't like properly set up, but we're on the 2x zoom. This is like how we have it, and as you can see, it works. This is the nightmare that we've had that works now, but that's not the end of it, because there's a few issues. But this part works great, everything is fine, the zoom looks good. I believe the battles look fine as well. Let's test and see. Let's see, we got Mr. Tiny custom here because we haven't properly edited his asset for battle yet. Okay, so the reason why the UI is not coming up is because that plugin is currently disabled. Right, so turn off. Right, so back to RPG Maker. I'm going to hide this forum post for now. So the main issue is, I found, you might be wondering what the issue is. It's this. Everything is off center. Well, this bit isn't off center. We've got the hero and the spotlight in the correct position, but all the text is off center. Even with all the plugins turned off, it's still off center. So it's just figuring out why that's happened. I believe is there a type error as well? Let me just see. There was a type error at a couple of points during this playtest as well. Okay, so it's fine here. That's probably because I've got all the plugins disabled at the moment. That's why we haven't got the type error. Right, so we'll go to Lightfall and we'll just see if everything's working here. And we'll try and see how to get that text where it should be, and then gradually enable the plugins again and find out which one's the culprit. Alright, Carol's box is off centre at the moment because we haven't set it up properly. But this one should be working, which it is. So yeah, that is exactly how we want it to be. Basically in Lakefall, let's click her so I can show you how it's set up. All we have is a slash message event with the name, the number of the event in square brackets. It's super easy because all we have to do to find the name of the event is look in the top left corner and it's right there, and it automatically places the dialog box above the event's head, which is way quicker than the old way we've been doing it, which is the current way, because we're still kind of doing it like this until we solve the problem, which is with every single dialog box manually writing the numbers of the X and Y position. That's what we've been doing. Like, that's pretty insane and time consuming, so obviously it would be perfect if this could work and I would be pretty over the moon. So that's why we're doing this today, just sidetracking a bit. So let's have a look now. So you can see everything's off apart from the top 4. We're going to keep everything off for now, and we'll only turn them on gradually once we fix the off-center text problem. But I've already figured out what's causing the off-center text, and it is these 2 plugins, because if we turn them off now, it's fine. But we need those plugins because they're what make the dialog boxes work in the first place and appear above the heads. So if we go now, you'll see it's working fine. Everything's all good and how it's supposed to be, but we can't have that. We need those plugins enabled. So which one? The question is now, which one is it? We need to narrow it down more. So if we turn message core on, will it work? Will it be fine then? And if it is fine, that means that it's the second plugin that's the fault. Yeah, this is fine. So it's definitely this one. the extended message part 1, which is causing the off-center text. So first of all, I'm going to look at the settings here. I was going to do that before stream, but didn't get time. So I'm going to do that here now. And looking at that, there's only message anchor that could possibly be the problem, but is it really that? If we change it to top, will that make it the positioning change? Here's where we're going to experiment now. So we'll do another test and see if that changes the positioning. Hi Richard, thank you so much for the 5 months, 5-month streak as well. Thank you so much for the support. That is very kind of you, Richard. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great week. Me and Mr. Bat appreciate you. Okay, so this is interesting because we can't even see the text at all now, which tells me that maybe that is the problem, the anchor. Do you know case semi well? Well, I appreciate that. I'm doing troubleshooting today, what someone would probably say is the boring bit of game development, but it needs to be done. Because if you don't do it, you've got a game full of issues, and it just makes your work, well, this will just make I will rejoice and celebrate forever if this works today. If we can get it working, I will say that my month is made. This is how important this is, so that's why we are doing this today. Okay, so I should delete that now because that was the old Zoom we was using, but I'm going to keep it there just in... No, actually, I'll get rid of it. I've got the notes. I've got that piece of code saved somewhere, so it's not like I'm going to lose it. But that's just our backup in case we need to revert back to doing it that way. Okay. So, back to testing stuff. So it was on bottom before, and when we change it to top, it completely screwed with everything. I'm gonna also check something else. We'll go to the character creation and see the positioning inside this event, how we have it. So I currently have a plugin, some command and script set up to start the Zoom. Is that essential? I don't think that's the cause of the problem. Well, I don't think that is what we need to look at. I'm pretty sure I tested it without those and set the Zoom in the actual plugin settings instead, but the result was the same. So here it is. So we've got it. We have it as window position top, but it isn't at the top. It isn't set like that. That's middle. I'm also going to test something else in Lakefall, because at the moment this is, what event is this? Event 22. This is Carol the Barrel. I've said that name again, but we're always going to mention Carol. I'm going to set Carol's thing up so she works the same as this MBC here, because I do want to test whether that successfully works as well. It's better to do it now. I won't do it on all the boxes though, because I want to keep the coordinates just in case. So, no, we can get rid of that too. So if we actually cancel that for a minute, discard, switch back to this screen. Yeah, we'll put it on that one, but not on the other box. Also, was it 20? Yeah, it was 22. We'll put it on these two. Let's see if that works. Because before I noticed that not having it like set up this way had Carol's box in the bottom right corner as well, and that's what it's kind of doing in general to every bit of text. I'm not sure why everything's getting pushed to the bottom right corner. It's definitely this plugin that's doing it, and like it makes sense to think it's that, considering that says bottom, but seems having it set up as some any of the others don't help either. I'm also going to keep refreshing my forum post just in case that person does reply. And there's a very good chance they could just reply tonight and solve all my problems for me easily. And I should just like leave this and do something else for now, but I just want to do it. So, hi Neville, how are we doing? It's so good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. How are things? Okay. And it's definitely not this one. No, this one's not because we wouldn't be having we need word wrapping on, definitely not, because it worked fine before. You know, I wonder if it was that code that I edited yesterday in Notepad++. Probably not, because I think I put it back to how it was originally. Let's just try. I did modify something now, and I just want to make sure that it's not that that's the problem. I don't think it would be this, because it's nothing related to what we edited yesterday. How are you doing? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'll be even better once this bit of troubleshooting's solved. It's like a puzzle doing this. So no, everything is still stuck in that corner. But we're gonna just go through it at the moment and get to Lakefall, just so we can see if Carol the Barrel dialog box has worked with the new settings. If you just press enter the whole time in this character creator, this guy is who you get as your custom hero. We get him a lot because I just spam enter sometimes when I'm trying to test play and rush through it. And because we don't have the plugins enabled right now, our little cutscene around Lakefall isn't currently working. Okay, so as you can see, the one we set up for Carol, which is this box, is working perfectly. It's above her head just like it should be. Beautiful. I think it's a beautiful plugin. If we can fix this off-center text issue. So yeah, it does. It puts all the I wonder if it's the resolution. It can't be the resolution change because it's definitely the extended message pack, because that is the culprit. We've confirmed it. So okay, so next part of the puzzle. What are we gonna try next? So we changed the Y position of the message anchor from bottom to top before, and it completely disappeared. What happens if we change this centre one to left? Doesn't change anything. You know, this might be something we need to look through the JavaScript code for, because I don't think the answer is in the plugin settings. That's all to do with sound, that's to do with message choices. And we've tried that and that's not made a difference. Do we need to... I wonder if we need to put any of these codes in front. Let's look through. Because that's what worked for Carol. We put a code in front and she went in the position she should have done. So we might have no choice but to do something like this, and that might be the way we have to handle text. Right, so auto event. What's auto event? Let's see that, because he put up a screenshot the creator of this plugin did with / auto event, and I'm curious what the meaning of that is. So we're going to look, there it is, auto event. Sets the width and browse the message to fit the positions without. If you use 0, the map will be pressed. Do not use this with where at. Maybe we need to use that. Seeing as that's the one he used in the example, it makes sense to try out that one. Because at the moment we have it on auto and we have message. We need to, you know, maybe we need to get rid of that altogether. Let's see what happens to that bit of text if we do. Okay, it doesn't even appear at all. And it did before, it appeared at the right side of the screen. It looks like it's there in the bottom right corner, I can see it. See a bit of white pixel. Okay, so something needs to be put there, so I'm going to put the auto event. And it's 1. So, or, no, we'll put 0. Because that's, yeah, we'll just put 0 and see what happens. Because 0 does it to the current event. Okay. So it appeared there that time. So it did change position to where it was before. But why did it go there? Probably because that's event 1. This here. Okay, so I have a feeling that, you know, one of these codes are the answer to our problem. You know, it was silly because I shouldn't really have the X and Y position in there anymore. It makes sense that it wouldn't be there if those are there. So it does make sense to get rid of those. So let's try those now. I think we're getting closer. Okay, blank screen. Probably because all the text is off the, just not even on the screen. Well, it is. I can see the pixels there at the bottom again, but that's because those are the other ones. Okay. This is definitely intriguing. So it's not auto. And you know, this scene is different to the others because we have just text randomly, you know. So maybe we just have to do another approach. So I'm going to try the message position X and message position Y auto for now, and if that doesn't work, I've got another plan. But it's important we get this looking good because it's our first ever scene in the game. We want people to be able to see the text and be to the character creator. But I think it's an easy solution, even if we have to replot the coordinates just for this bit. Okay, so that doesn't work either. Okay, so my idea was, because we want the text to appear at the top there, it would make sense to make an event here. It's event 2. So what we do at this point is copy this. This is what we're using for all the characters for the message for the above the head. And we do that. Obviously that's event 2, so we put it as that. Good morning. Hi Iron, how are you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. So I'm honestly thinking now I've done that, it's going to appear. That's my theory, I should say. And it hasn't, which makes the whole thing very strange because I was pretty sure that would work. Okay, so one thing I've noticed is this blue bit here doesn't appear, does it? The blue little light source that we have on our map there isn't there when we start a new game, and it's probably because of the 2x zoom, so it just brings everything in closer. And obviously that might be why it's not appearing, because it's off the screen. So if we bring that lower, will it appear then? Maybe. Not too bad, needed something to watch while I work on my pixel art tutors. Oh, awesome! You're doing pixel art tutors? That sounds really fun. Please share them with us when you've done them. I'd love to see. And it did. I don't like how it does that weird thing, but we can hopefully change that. And it was a bit off center as well, which is weird because we've got it centered there. Seems like, let's just bring it here. Let's just bring it above there for now because I want to see what happens. because the hero starts there. That's the hero's position, right in the middle at the bottom there, and he's in the centre, so that should be in the centre too. But it wasn't. Yeah, sure, working on his tile sets at the moment. Sounds really cool. I love pixel art, and I enjoy doing it myself. Like, I'm not doing much of my own graphics for this particular project because it would increase development time significantly, but I still like doing pixel art. I mean, I've done all the emotes and the bit badges for this channel. Okay, so it did. I'm gonna have to look at that again. It was off centre, I still think. That's the one you're most proud of. We'll have a peek at that. I'm gonna copy that link and have a look in a sec. Awesome, it's a sword. I like it. Looks snazzy. GG. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so let's go back to what we've got it as. I'm gonna put that on the others as well. Not on all of them, but on some of them, and we can see how they look then compared to the others. But I think Lakefall works fine. It's literally just this scene that has the off-centered text, which we didn't have as a problem before. But this sort of thing happens when you add new plugins to a project. Sometimes there are incompatibility things, or things that are going to alter how your project works. I'm very curious. It seems to be left aligning it, or it's like doing it now instead of the centre anyway. I'll have to look into why that is. It's interesting how the choice boxes was where it was meant to be when I did that before, though. I think this is definitely a way to fix this. It's just reorganising how the text is placed. But the main thing for now is to make sure the text boxes are working in cutscenes with dialogue. So I'm probably not going to get overly too fussy about reorganising this part for now. But I want to know it's possible, because I don't want to continue using a plugin that's going to screw up this part. Hi Van, how are you doing? And hi Pontypool. Wait, there's no programming at all into this. Where have you read that, Pontypool? No programming at all. That would be an interesting game if there was no programming at all. That would be an interesting game indeed. Working and lurking again. Yay! You work so hard, Van. I've been working hard lately too, though. Spent all night last night just troubleshooting, and now I'm continuing with it today. I'm not even, completely didn't have any relaxing time at all yesterday. Okay. So what I am going to do is definitely change all the text to what we've got it set as now. because it's not even appearing on the screen at all with how it is currently set up, which is not good. So we want it to appear, even if it's out of position, we'd rather it appear. But all going well, we will do some cutscene stuff in the second half of stream today. I haven't given up on that or put a stop to it just yet. Or I just definitely am very intrigued to get this, to experiment with this plugin. Okay, so all the text is repositioned, so I'm gonna see how that looks now. I don't want it to do that weird thing where it does this weird animation from the bottom to the top. It looks strange. So we'll hopefully get a fix for that. It's fine on this text though. The only problem is we don't want it on the right like that. But yeah, it works great. If we can reposition that to the middle, this bit's perfect. It's just that first bit of text that's the weird one. No is the name of this character. And now I'm thinking the next job is going to be to gradually enable all the plugins again and make sure that everything starts working okay and there's no bugs whatsoever with having this plugin. Okay, something's gone wrong with Carol. That's interesting. Maybe some of the text was just off the screen. Okay, for some reason the dialogue box has changed position and it wasn't like that before. It's so mysterious for solving bugs. It's like they're like a detective. That's weird because it was working fine before. And what have I done different? Nothing. I don't think I've edited like for one bit. So this is very very dilemma. This is back to like let's check. Everything's the same. Message group I've got, that is exactly how I had it set up before, and it appeared above the head as it should, and now all of a sudden it's gone to the right. I have not edited anything, have I? I didn't mess about with the plugin settings. Haven't. Oh, is everything okay? So, center. I did put it on left for testing purposes, and I must have forgot to switch it back to center. So I'm actually that could have solved the problems in the character creation as well. Maybe that's why it was out of place. So, silly me, if that's the case. Okay. I don't know what's going on there and why nothing appears, but to get it working you have to press enter for some reason. And it never used to do that, but since we've added this plugin, it does that for some reason. So we need to figure out what's going on there. But it has. Changing it to center has made it go in the position it should. I kind of still want it centered though. It's still left aligned, but at least the actual message box is in the center now. We'll definitely have it higher up than that though. How am I hungry now already? I literally just had a sandwich an hour ago. Okay, so she should be, yeah, that's how it should be. Thank you. Thank you for working this time. Okay, so right. I believe everything works with just those 4 plugins, but of course we want all of our plugins back. We don't want it to be basic because this is what makes our game. But unfortunately, what happens is if we do enable all of them and run the game, we come across problems, which I'm going to show you now. So we always have to start a new game when we add a new plugin because usually we get an error otherwise. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have something happen when we enter the character's name. It's going to come up with an error. We're also going to get an error in the menu when we open it as well. Those are the 2 errors I've found from so far anyway. Type error. Cannot read property pages of null. I have like put that in the plugin section. So the author of this plugin is going to, he knows that this is like this, so I'm going to get hopefully a reply from him later and we'll fix that, but I want to fix it, see if I can fix it too. So we're going to have to, what we're going to have to do, the goal is to find out which plugin is causing that, and I believe it's actually, I'm going to guess because it's going to be quicker if I can try and solve it already, and because it's to do with the name inputting, my theory is that it's, where is it, there's a plugin that deals with that. I've got quite a big list. So name input upgrade, which is improves the name input screen for your RPG Maker MV game. It changes the look of it. So I'm thinking that's the culprit because it's funny that we get the error at that moment when we type in the name. So it makes sense for it to be the name upgrade plugin that's causing this problem. So we're gonna turn that one off and see what happens then. Alright, time to go up to my real job. No, crying face. Well, I'm sorry that your job makes you sad. I really hope your day goes by quickly and you get to do all the things you love as soon as possible. Thank you for hanging out though, Ian. Thanks for the content. Thank you very much. And good luck with your tutorial as well. What are we going to call this guy? Just call it now. Oh, we can't type in anymore, I've just realised. Because we've disabled the plugin. Okay, I expected that we'd be able to at least use the mouse, but I think I know why we can't do that. It's because I have disabled the mouse in our game. So we're going to have to turn that off for now while we're trying to solve this problem. Do I just want to be working on Pixel all day? It's addictive, yes. I know the feels of just wanting to get back home and work on your passions. I did that for quite a while as well. And then I quit my job and just saved a load of money so I could work on my passions at home. And look, I'm in a lucky position where I don't have to pay bills currently. I'm still living at home, so I'm okay with my Twitch income and savings for the meantime, and that's why I'm able to stream as much as I do and work on this project as much as I am. Obviously that's not a sustainable life for forever, so I'm going to enjoy this time while I can and make the most of it. This is the best name ever. Oh, okay. That's interesting. It actually isn't that plugin that's the problem. The mystery deepens. So my theory about that plugin being the culprit is wrong, which means we can enable that one again, at least, because we know that that one is fine. So it's kind of figuring out which plugin is the culprit now. Now this is the fun bit of troubleshooting, because it's actually quite fun to figure out which plugin is the culprit. You have to sometimes do this when these little things happen. So we know that's fine. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is re-enable all the Yanfly plugins. Because usually the Yanfly plugins, which are these ones, the ones with YEP at the front, they're kind of usually very compatible together and with most of the plugins, so usually they're not culprits. So we'll re-enable those and we'll see if we still get the culprit happen, and if we do, then it's a Yanfly plugin that's the problem. But if we don't, then we know it's one of the other ones. But as soon as this is sorted and I can safely say it's working and there's no bugs or weird stuff going on, like, we're free to carry on the cutscene, and holy butts, it will be an absolute joy to do it, because we won't have to manually plot those coordinates ever again. So this is like well worth it. Okay, this is funny because I actually didn't expect that to happen this time. I didn't think it was going to be a Yanfly plugin, but it must be. Okay, so this means we have to disable all the Yanfly plugins and turn on all the others. And if it's working fine, then we know 100% it's a Yanfly plugin that's the problem. And then it's just working out which one it is. BNB, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. How are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. I need to figure out what's happening on this scene though, because something's off screen at that point. I'm gonna have to have a proper look at that. didn't even give him a name that time. At least we got our pretty camera back, and we got our pretty sub-memes. So it looks like it's all fine. It is the Yagenfly plugin that is the culprit. Oh, and the menu's working this time. I was scared then, no, because I was like, we're going to get an error in the menu. So look, it's all working fine. Everything is working as it should. When we go inside the item shop, this is fine. The mini map is kind of not working properly at the moment. The reason for that is because I'm working on the UI options menu, so players can either enable or disable the mini map, and it's kind of screwed up with the settings a bit. And once, like, you know, the website's done, I'm going to get time to properly do that. It's just being put on the back burner for now. Okay, so it works fine like that, but we need to figure out which Yagenfly plugin's the culprit, and we either have to remove that plugin or we have to just edit the settings to figure out if we can get it fixed. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a battle based plugin, so I'm going to enable the battle ones, which is at least a third of them. So now we're going to test it again. If it's fine, we know it's not a battle plugin that's the problem. And I don't see why it would be a battle plugin, because, you know, the typing in the name is nothing to do with that. So itchy eye. I filled up my water bottle before stream, and I had some whilst Einstein screen was on, and it was all warm. Ew. I don't know why, because I let the tap run. I like my water very cold, but I've heard it's not as good for your body. I've heard that warm water's good to drink, but it's gross. I only like warm water if there's tea bag in it, and it's okay. But not on its own. Okay, so it does seem that that's okay. We haven't got the type error that time, but we'll check we don't have the menu error either. We'll have to set all of Carol's boxes up properly as well. Looks like it's fine. We can go in all these menus hopefully, and there's no errors. All good. Okay, so now there's only about a couple of dozen left now. So I think these will be fine. This next half. So let's turn these on. I have a feeling one of these are the culprit. Just have this funny feeling. So there we go. think, oh no it hasn't. We still have the problem where we have to press enter. I thought it was okay then, but it's not. Good morning, hi Grim Exiled, welcome. How are you today? Thanks for stopping by. We're doing a bit of troubleshooting this afternoon, but all going well. We might have solved this problem in the next 20-30 minutes. And then we can spend the rest of the stream doing the fun stuff. Sometimes it's impossible to predict when you'll solve a problem now. But it is going promisingly well right now, so all will hopefully be good. And no bugs there either, so my theory was correct. This one isn't the problem. So it's definitely one of the plugins that we've currently got disabled, which is causing the bug. I hope it's not one that's important, otherwise I'll have a little cry to myself if we have to get rid of it, which we won't be getting rid of it if it's important. We'll just have to figure out how to fix it. I feel the lover class is extremely missing. Hi Tutti. The lover class? What's the lover class? I'm wondering that myself now. Just playing a bit with Unity and C#. Love what you have going here. Thank you very much. That's an extremely encouraging thing to say. I appreciate the kind words, Grim. We will be getting a website up and running next week, which is very exciting. We've had the domain and host since October, but it's had like a coming soon page for months. But I've been slowly working on it, and it'll finally be ready to launch next week, all going well. So we're planning on stream 100 actually for the website release. I'm going to make it a celebration. Well, the warrior class is for one, the hunter class is for hunting. Oh yeah, well observed. The only logical next step is lover. Oh, that's interesting. Well, we're going to have a romance system in Raindrop Chronicles, so that counts for lover. You're always a lover no matter what your class is in our game. Okay, so which one could be the bug? I actually have no idea which one could be the cause. I hope it's not the quest journal, because that plugin's everything. So let's turn those on. We'll turn options core on as well, and mini event label and icons on events. So we'll see if those 5 pass. If they don't, then we know it's one of those plugins. This is really actually fun to do. Am I right, nerd, for finding plugin troubleshooting fun? I must say, because this is not something that most people think is fun. But I feel like a detective of games and computers and bugs. Please work. All those plugins that I just enabled are important, so you have to work. Okay. No! We found the culprit. It's one of those 5 plugins. Damn it. No. I'm actually a little bit sad because these are all very important, and these ones aren't. Well, these ones are as well, don't get me wrong. Oh, I think I know why the first line didn't work. It's because we need gab window. So I'm going to enable those 6 because I believe those ones are fine, and we'll turn the culprits off for now. We'll test it again and it should be good now, but we'll have to figure out which one's the culprit out of those 5, and then we're just going to have a bit of a mess around, see if we can alter the settings of that plugin that is the bad one, and and hopefully we can, and then it'll be all good. We still have to press enter here though. But the custom hero section is almost fixed, at least. It's a lot better than it was before. Now we've made the changes. Okay, so that's fine, which I thought it would be. Let's make sure the menu's okay. I have a feeling that the type error in the game input and the menu is the same plugin that's causing the problem. You know, it's that blooming quest journal, isn't it? It's always that plugin that's giving me the problem, so my theory is it's that one. It's always that one. Whenever there's like a type error or some incompatibility, it seems to be that one that does it. That plugin has given me a bit of grief, but unfortunately it's extremely important plugin. I adore the quest journal. Our game is very quest heavy, so we need it, and it is the best quest journal plugin that is around. So right, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to find out if it's the quest journal now. So if this works, then we know it is. We've narrowed it down to that one. But I might be wrong. It might not be that one. But I just have this feeling. Oh, so it isn't the quest journal. Well, that's encouraging, because that means that we don't have to worry about forever getting rid of that. So we can confirm it's one of these three. And we know that the option, well, not the option, I was about to say when we go in the menu we get it, so it must be a plugin that's related to the menu. Which I was about to say, it's probably the options core. So if we turn them on, then we'll find out now if it's options core. Wow, this has been an adventure. Finding out what that plugin is. But I'm mostly just happy if we can solve this, because we're getting really close now to being okay to use this plugin, and if we can fix the one that isn't working, and we'll be able to do our cutscenes with these. So I'm very happy. Like I said, it'll make me a month to get a solution for this. It's been on the radar for a very long time, so I'm very glad that I'm putting time into fixing it. Oh, okay. Now I'm really curious, because I would have thought it was options core, but it isn't. It's actually one of these two. Event mini label or icons on events. Both of these are very similar plugins. Icons and events is it allows you to put icons on events in the player, which is very important because we use those as our quest markers in our game. The player will have the option to hide them if they prefer playing games blind, but without any like quality of life things that help out with that. But for those people that do love the quality of life and UI markers, then it's very, very important in our game to know where the quests are. An event mini label creates miniature size labels over events to allow you to insert whatever text you like into them. What is that? can't even remember what I used that for. And you know what? I think it's this one because it's talking about inserting text, which makes me think that's the one because, but I might be wrong. First of all, we're going to figure out which one it is. So first, we'll enable icons on events. It might be this one that's the problem, and then I've got to remember what that plugin is because I don't want to just delete it without remembering what it is, just in case we did use it for something important. My son loves to make maps with this software. Eventually he will get to building a game with it. 11 years old and he's full on Scratch programming. That is absolutely wonderful. I discovered RPG Maker when I was just a little bit older than that. When it was RPG Maker 2000, one of the very early ones back in the day. And I was in love because I had like discovered games like Final Fantasy series at that time, so the fact I could make my own was very exciting. It was terrible though because I was like 12, but it was fun. I wish I still had those games so I could look back on them, but unfortunately they disappeared along with my old desktop. We're an old school Zelda family. That's so cool though. I hope he gets to make something. You must be proud. Okay, so it does seem that it is that weird plugin that's the cause, because it's passed the icons on event has, so at least we know who the demon plugin is. But I just cannot remember what that plugin did now. Maybe we can just get rid of it if it has no use, but I kind of want to make sure we aren't using it for anything first. And let's just make sure everything works in the menu. I would eventually love to make a custom menu, by the way, because things are still pretty vanilla with our menu at the moment. But those sort of things are things I'll probably focus on once the actual content of episode 1 is done. But I'd still want to do it before episode 1's release, obviously, because we want it to visually look brilliant before we release the episode. So that works, it's all good. We have found the plugin. We know who it is. So okay, so miniaturize labels over events to allow you to insert whatever text you like in them. So I think I know what it is. I'm gonna Google it just to make sure, but I don't think we've used it at any point. The Unfly mini event label, which is promising, because if it isn't an important plugin, that means that we don't have to cry about deleting it. This is the one that's the culprit. This is what it does basically. It makes words appear above the events, which we haven't actually made use of that feature in our game. So yes, we can delete it without crying. The icons and events, yeah, we've made use of, but not the name. So I'm pretty sure we haven't. I feel like I downloaded it for a reason, and maybe it's because I intended to use it but didn't. So I am going to remove it. Or actually, I'm going to leave it there but just have it off, just so I remember. And I want to contact the creator of the plugin as well to tell him it's this that's incompatible, and maybe he can fix that. If he, it might help him. Hi, Shuffle Poof, I like your name. I like the shuffle bit. Isn't poof a bad word? I really am worried now. I'm one of these people, guys. I'm going to admit this now. If I see like a name in chat that sounds a bit, I'm like, is that bad? Is that offensive? And sometimes I don't even know. I'm like, is that a bad word? And then I have to go on Google to define it, to find out. So I'm going to look. Oh wow, this is interesting. I'm on Urban Dictionary now. Okay, so... oh god. Oh my goodness me. Urban Dictionary is a funny place. You can find out some interesting definitions on there. But yes, I'm afraid your name is a mean word. I put according to Urban Dictionary. My thoughts were right. How do you feel about that? I have to ask you, having a name that's considered offensive. Does it bother you? Okay. Right, so what were we doing? We've disabled the problem, so that's great. We're like 99% there now, so I'm happy. Oh dear, I did a silly mistake. Sometimes I accidentally move my maps into positions that they shouldn't be. There we go, it's all fixed now. Cool. So there was just a little weird thing with the character creator. Also, I'm going to move that up a bit more now. Where is it that it happens? Oh, okay, it's this bit. No wonder. Yeah, so if we did that, that should be fine now. It should all be working. Okay, and now Carol the Barrel as well. Oops. It feels like too good to be true that this works. I'm still paranoid there's going to be something serious that goes wrong. But all going well, it'll be fine. That's an interesting language. Oh, what's an interesting language? These cards here. Okay, so that is fine now. We've changed all of Carol's dialogue box's position so it will all work well. I'm going to do one more test play. Save the game, and if it's working well, we're gonna test the wagon scene that we've been working on for the last week and see if that's working good, and if it is, all sorted. But it won't be yet. We can also play through the game from the start to the cutscene, make sure there's no bugs, and if that works, then we know it's good and we can use it, and then we can carry on with the cutscene. But I'm going to rush through the game when we play a test. I'm not going to fight any monsters or anything. I'm going to just rush through. I will probably test a battle though, just to make sure it's all fine. I feel like I'm to a massive burp. That scribble on your screen, very linear. There's a scribble on my screen? I can't see it. I'm curious now. Okay, new game. Let's make Jesus again. Yeah, the positioning of the text isn't perfect. I want to work on that, but that's not something that I'm going to fuss over right now. I can do that off stream. I want it in the middle, so it's just very small stuff. Silly girl, I mean the code. Oh, right. I don't know technical code terms. I'm a code noob, so I am silly. You have a beard? Yep, I do. So when you talk to me about code, you have to talk to me like a 12-year-old, and then I might get it. Okay. I'm gonna have to get a snack already. I don't usually get my snack until about 5 o'clock. Hungry one today. Different country, different dialect as well. Yeah, that might be it. Or me just being silly, who knows. A lot of the time that happens. I always never understand what people are talking about. I go through life like that. I'm used to it by now. It's so nice that Carol's dialogue box works so good. Okay, so happy. Also, did I accidentally turn the... Oh, right. So this playthrough's going to have a weird dash going on then, because I... Oh well, no big deal right now. So it's working, still too good to be true, and obviously Lakefall we need to turn into a parallax map at some point. That's why we're walking everywhere that we shouldn't be right now. Once we've finished the cutscene business of the main quest 2, we will be going back to Lakefall, so we'll be doing that stuff like that then. So all's fine so far, no glaring, weird, strange bugs. Let's turn the map off though. Save the game here. We'll see if we got problems in battle, hopefully we don't. All's good so far, no bugs. So he's walking super fast at the moment because we're testing and we don't want to loiter about. Is that the term? Don't know. Custom loading screen required. Another super good one. Things like custom menu, custom loading screen. We're gonna do all that fancy stuff at some point before we release episode 1. So we're gonna have a bit of a cutscene here. Now we're in Silent Haven. We'll save the game first. We've got to talk to this little girl here, and if you've seen the story so far video, you'll find out, you'll see more about this, but we're going to rush through it for now. And yes, the dialogue box positioning is not in the right place right now, and that's because we need to redo it because of the plugin, which is fine. That's what I expected. And I am going to make a little slight change to this cabin. I found a tile set with some broken holes, floorboards and that I thought would really be quite good for this. So just a couple of extra changes I'm going to do and work on, but probably later on. But yeah, it'll be really easy to reposition these dialogue box now we've got the new plugin, so I am not daunted about that. It's just a relief that we've fixed it. But everything is working great. We'll just see. Quest journal. Turn off the quest UI actually. We're going to be UI-less during this little testing playthrough. Oh, actually, we'll save it here. But just to ease my paranoia, I'm going to do a quick battle test with Rose in the party before we proceed, because I want to make sure there's no bugs there either. Better to be safe than sorry. Okay, we haven't set up the enemy for that one yet. Don't think we've set up any of the enemies in this area yet. And now I've mastered self switches, it'll be easier to do that. Okay, everything's fine. Bullies. Do you see how they hit my character then? Okay, so it's fine. So exit. Continue. True Baldy, hello, how are you doing, True Baldy? It's lovely to see you as always. How has your week been? Tell us everything. Okay, so now we can test the cutscene. My goodness, I feel like a weight has been lifted over my shoulders getting this part sorted. You have no idea, everyone. Okay, so I did set up a few of their boxes. Oh my god, it's working. It's exactly above Meryl's head where it should be. Okay, it isn't directly above Oliver's, and I think the reason for that is because he's small. Which is interesting. I've got to think how to I might have to do Oliver's dialogue box differently because of his smallness. That is something I didn't consider actually with this option. So it's worked. One thing I am going to do before we continue with the cutscene is message back that plugin creator. So I'm going to go to, here we go. He might have already replied, I hope not. Oh, he's replied as well. I was hoping he hadn't replied because I've already fixed it, and now he's gone through all this effort to reply and I've already done it. Right, hang on, let's read it though. Place below Jan Fly's plugins Oh my goodness, you've got the 500 raindrops to your body. That's fantastic. Feel free to fill in a character form if you'd like. The character sheets have been kind of delayed on my part because we've got a big list actually. If I go on my Trello page now, because I like to mention this, I'm going to put this in chat so everyone can see. I've got a little section here which is all the character sheets that to do. These are everybody who has filled in a character form who has met the 500 raindrops that are here. I put in brackets that they're on hold until the full website launch on Stream 100. Because I'm literally spending all my time doing the website now, and once the website's done and launched, I'm gonna get those character sheets done and they will be added, so that will be fun. Okay, so page PAF program and say two for the best results. Fix please download 2. It seems to be working for me now. I could replicate this one. I'm not sure what that's about really, but fix the issue. Oh damn it, this is awkward now because it seems like he's done it. He's fixed the issues before, but the problem is I've already fixed them on my end, so I can't properly test them. So I'm going to reply saying I found out that the plugin that's causing the type error is, right, what's the name of it? I've turned it off so it's not. Yanfly's event mini label plugin. I turned it off and everything is working fine. I should probably test his new one actually and see if it solves that, just because I like to make sure that he knows. So let's it's pretty simple to update a plugin. All we have to do is yeah, download. Go back to my other screen now while I'm downloading. Keep, so let's showing folder, open in Notepad++, and then all we have to do is go to plugins, save it, replies. Now it should be the new one. So now we've got the new one updated. I'm going to just turn it off just because maybe it needs to refresh, just being on the safe side. We're going to enable the that plugin again and see if the type error is still there, and if it is I can pass the information on to him. So turn that on. Yes, test. Yeah, now I'm worthy of being a character. Yay! I'm proud of you, Trobaldi. I'm just gonna quickly go through it. We can spam this. Spam? How is that the right word to use in this context? Okay, so this is where we usually got the error before, so we'll soon know. Yeah. So I'm just going to pass that information on to him. I'm going to say, found out the plague that causes the type error is Yamfly's mini room. Luckily, that's not one of the plugins I need, so I turned it off and everything is working fine. But at the same time, he might still want to fix it in case other people need that plugin. Also, the text being on the right is fine. Being off center and on the right is fine. Now it may have been my fault due to having the old, how will I say this, here we go, X and Y message positioning still enabled. Now I've removed that, it's working great. Thank you so much for this plugin. It's saved, it will save me a lot of time. If I come across any other issues, I will be sure to let you know. I think that's all I need to say. So all's good. I think I've said what I've needed to say. I'm going to keep that there because I'm going to want to see their response. But now we can carry on with the cutscene, I think. I don't think there's anything else to test. It still feels too good to be true, but it seems like it's all fixed. We're just very lucky in this situation because something that's really such a big thing and has been such a big issue in the game for a long time, we just happened to have someone in the forums that's made a plugin for it. It's like very fortunate. It was a very good idea I posted in there last night, because otherwise I'd never have known, because that person was still in the process of making the plugin and my post may push them to release it sooner. Okay, so we can do everything differently now. We don't have to plot coordinates anymore. Hooray! So I've already done it for some of the events. Oliver is event 1, so we just have to, yeah, that's all there. Carol's event 3. I've still got that message. Why get rid of that? So it hurts my eyes to see those X and Y values now. Bad memories. Okay. Carol, was she event 3? Yeah, that's right. It's a lot easier to remember their event numbers than the coordinates, that's for sure. And Elvira, she is event 4. So all we need to do now is do that. Delete. Oh, accidentally got rid of name box. 4. So that's fixed. There was a little, I think there was a little thing with Meryl's text though. Someone's coming off the edge, so we'll just fix that. I kind of do want to, I might still make changes to this dialogue. I was very happy with the first draft we did. I think it's great, but I still might make it better and more natural and flow even better, especially this section with Meryl telling the story. But generally 90% of it's great. So that's all done. We no longer need the old Zoom plugin that we had, so that can go now. That's our straight screen vertical shake for the cart. And obviously I'll have to change the dialogue in the cabin with Fiona Bookington, and a few other bits of dialogue we've done, but because we're still very early on in the game, it's not too much work at all, so that's fortunate. Is there something else? No, I don't think anything else at all needs doing. Oh yes, event mini label. I am now going to get rid of that plugin. Map zoom and smooth scroll, we can get rid of those now, we don't need them. Okay, so I'm going to turn them off and make sure. I actually should have turned those off, that's silly, because now, you know, that other zoom plugin would have clashed with this one. I need to make sure now there's no issues with, again, now we've turned those off. Oh wow, okay. Okay. Now I'm worried because it has caused a problem. Everything's on the right side again. Maybe that's because I put the new update in. Or maybe it's because of the plugin, I'm going to have to see. So we'll turn those on again. See, I knew it was too good to be true. This sort of thing, it happens to me. I think I've done it, then something else happens. Okay, so it actually is those plugins. Turning them off causes a huge problem, and hopefully this is an easy fix because we don't need those plugins anymore. Ideally, I want to get rid of them. Okay. So how would I do this? I feel like, smooth scroll. Is it that one? Let's see if it's that one. Turn that off. No, it seems it's definitely the is this one. We have to keep it on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping it on, but it feels a bit weird to have 2 Zoom plugins enabled. I wonder what happens if... Did he say put them under all Yamfly's plugins? Place below Yamfly's plugins too, okay. And he says below all others, and that's actually what I'm going to do. Considering that's what he recommends. And now we'll turn it off and see if it fixes the problem then. Because it might have been having it above that plugin that caused that. Who knows? But if it is a big issue, I'll just keep that one enabled and hope it doesn't cause any weird conflicts. Okay, so it seems fine. The only weird thing is that it does that strange animation with that text at the start, and I'm like, why did it do that? But we're gonna still go through the game, just check everything's good now. Okay. Okay. There was a type error. Does that happen when this is turned on? Or is it because it's placed at the bottom of the plugins while there's a type error now all of a sudden? The mystery. Hi, Bell Sandwich, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. How are you doing today, Bell Sandwich? We were going so good. Our troubleshooting had come to an end. And we were like, yay. And then, all of a sudden, there's a plugin that randomly started being weird. Well, basically, there's a plugin that I think is better off disabled. And when it's enabled, everything works perfectly. But when it's disabled, everything screws up. So... it's making me think I have to keep it enabled now. I mean, this is very strange. Everything's gone off center just from turning that plugin back on. So I'm thinking, turn that off. I don't think it's a good idea to put that plugin at the bottom. I really don't. So I'm gonna actually just put it under the Yanfly plugins, and we'll see what happens then. Because when it's at the bottom, everything just screws up. So, hello Rose, how are you? Looking lovely as always. Thank you, Necron. How are you doing today? I'm in a good mood because I've spent a lot of time trying to fix something, even going as far as writing a full-on post on the RPG Maker forums. And finally, that might be getting sorted, and it's something that's been needing to be sorted out for a few months with this game, and it's going to make doing a lot of things much easier now. It's all related to the cutscene stuff, so that's kind of why I started doing this randomly, because now it's done, the cutscenes are going to be easier to do. It's all to do with the position of the message boxes during these scenes. Okay, so it's still been a weird eye. It's put all the images now in the bottom right. And I tell you now, if I turn this plugin on, it'll work fine. It's that plugin, it has to be on, and I don't know if we should have it on anymore, considering that's not the Zoom plugin we're using. Very bizarre. Very, very bizarre. It seems like that plugin is what is still doing the zoom mechanic, and that's why it works fine when it's on. And I want it so we don't use that one anymore and use that one instead. That's what I want to do. So turn it off, and what I'm actually going to try is set this up as 2 in here. And that's turned off now. I did have it here to start Zoom 2 plugin command, so I hoped that was kind of doing the zoom. But it might, I don't know. But it doesn't seem to be a big deal to just use the other Zoom plugin for the zoom. No. Yeah, we might have to do that. We might have to. One sec. I'm tempted to delete these 2 commands. I don't know if they're necessary. They might be redundant. So I'm gonna just save the text in them now and delete them and see how things work then. This is just a very small problem, guys. I'm sure there's gonna be we'll get a solution for it. It's just strange is all. Also, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch along properly if the internet's been dumb and I'm buffering, skipping every 13 seconds or so, but still hope you have fun and that stuff works with the plugin and such. I'll try and lurk in a little while and see if my SP is being less garbage. No issue at all, battle sandwich, things like that happen, and I just appreciate you wanting to hang out and get involved in, you know, little streams and community, but, you know, those days happen. My internet actually stopped working earlier today as well, but I got it fixed in the end. That's very strange when that does happen, because most of the time it's everything works awesomely with my internet. I did 100% put the newest plugin in, didn't I? So what did he say? It is 0.92 version. Let's double check that the newest one is in. 0.92, yeah. So I have put his new one in. If I put it where it was before, I'm going to see what happens then. Nick Fizzle, thank you so much for that, host. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. So yeah, it doesn't do anything different, so it's probably best to just leave it just directly below those Yanfly plugins. But we are going to need map zoom on, it seems. Is there somewhere that I have set that up? I don't think there is. There's no script. Now, I'm curious now, if I put it on 1, I assume everything will be normal. So it might actually, the whole images being on the bottom right again might still be an issue with this plugin, the CTP Zoom. And But it seems like having map zoom enabled fixes it all and makes it zoom in properly. And it doesn't seem like there's not something that's making it these not compatible. So it might be safe to use them together. I don't think there's going to be any danger in using the two plugins together. That's all I'm wondering with this, whether it's a good idea to have it enabled. But it seems it's not a big deal and it doesn't cause any problems, so we're going to turn that back on because that centers everything then having that one on. I'll keep those two zoom ones together. So now everything should be working okay. We'll do another test play. How's your day so far? It's going very successfully. We've solved a big bug that's been on the radar for a while. So it's been a successful, productive day, which I'm happy about, because last night fell wasted because I literally spent the whole night just trying to fix this and with no luck. So I'm glad that it now is fixed. So I'm gonna, ooh, hang on. One sec, before we do the test play again, there was one little thing I remember I want to do. So Yamfly's options call. Option categories, controls. Where's the dash one? Because currently I have the dash on for some reason, and I need to, the new options menu doesn't have that in it, so I can't get it back to how it was. Always dash, here it is. Show, true. So now it's having it on true should add it to the menu hopefully, and that means we'll be able to disable it. There we go. Oh damn, I pressed cancel like a silly. I'll do it again now. Always dash. Alright. There. I hate that when you have a wasted night. I know, right, Paul? I was so sad yesterday because of it when I was going to bed. Like, oh, I've spent, like, I literally had spent the time that I finished stream after my dinner, spent from then until 3 in the morning trying to do it. That was like 8 hours of failure. So I was a bit sad. I was like, am I gonna, was it pointless? I was like, was it pointless trying? Should I have just done things the hard way and made, instead of wasting this night? But then I woke up and someone responded to my forum post and had made a plugin especially for my problem, and I felt like all my dreams had come true all until the next day. So and yeah, there was a few issues with the plugin, but we got it working now, so everything is good now and I'm happy. How are you there, Paul? I hope you're doing well today. How have things been? Okay, so what we're gonna do then, now that we've got the new plugin and everything's working, I'm gonna start a new game again, save it, and then we'll carry on with what we're doing. But I want to do this new game just to test things again, just to be on the safe side, especially now we've been messing about with things. We don't ever want to come across any problems, so it's best to go through everything now and check. There's a few little things I still want to, like the positioning of the text in this particular scene, but I'm not going to waste time fussing over it right now. I'm going to do that off the stream. I've had a lot of those days in my 14 years as a dev, yeah. It makes me feel better knowing other people as well have that. I don't feel alone in it. Today's okay. Had a good game dev wise yesterday, though the work dev was a bit blah. Well, I hope it gets better than blah soon, because you deserve better than that. That's for sure. So we're making our Jesus character again. He's just stuck now. Just forever got him, but I might not use it in my real game when I play it properly. I might make a Rose the second for my custom hero, a non-vampire Rose. It would be confusing having two Roses in the party though, so I might call her a different name. I might call her Rosie or something. 30 years in Dev World here, started on Commodore 64. Ooh, my goodness, Grim knows his stuff. And that, oh dear, goblin bug. This is why you have to test it. What the hell? What are you going on? It worked before. I feel like this will never end now. But Grim, you have been doing game dev as long as I've been alive. How did you two get started? I mean, 14 years have passed since then, so things are probably different, but still, yeah, it's always good to know story, people's stories, so feel free to tell us. And we have a little bloody issue again. We got rid of the plugin that was our original type error. I feel like the information I've passed to this guy now is false because we're coming across other things. But I have told him I'd tell him if I have, so if I'll okay, so we'll switch back to this screen again. Hi Matt, how you doing? Red rose and white rose. Oh, that's a really creative way of having two roses. So red rose would be the vampire, obviously, and white rose will be the custom hero because she would be pure and always make the right decisions in the game. Or if I want to play as evil, I could be black rose. This is fun now. So she black rose and white rose. But hang on, in some countries black means good and white means evil. But in our Western world it's white as good and black as evil, isn't it? But I do know it's different in some areas of the world. I think, was it Japan? I think it's the other way around in Japan. I might be wrong though. I was dispatched for the cable company, was really tired of it and convinced them to give me a little bit of web space to build an internal tool. I've done a bit of programming in high school, so I had the basic idea of logic. That's really good. I never got the opportunity to learn code in school. It was all about IT when I was at school. Like, computing wasn't a proper subject, and a lot of us didn't agree. We were like, I'd rather learn computing than IT, because I naturally wanted to do the lessons that involved computers because that was what I liked, but it was bloody spreadsheets and Excel as the computer lessons, and I was like, oh, this is boring. I want to do code, not Excel and spreadsheets. But it wasn't a lesson, unfortunately. I know that things have changed since. Like when my cousin went to high school, he actually got to learn computing in his lessons. So he got the chance to do that, which is good for him. But because I never learned, I'm a big old noob with code. And I don't think I'm very good at it either, in all honesty. I think it's not my strength. When I like look at code, it takes me ages to work out what's going on. So yeah, I've kind of accepted it's my weak point, and I'm sure doing this project I'll slowly learn things, but I don't think I'll ever be gifted in it. Like I feel like my strengths are more in the actual creative side when it comes to design and writing and characters and all that kind of thing. I helped a teacher in school prep the PC class back when MS Basic was the in thing. Before end of year we moved to Quick Basic when colours were introduced. Ooh. See, this sounds interesting. Your PC class sounds interesting, and I'm sure you went to school before me. I mean, if you've been doing it for 30 years, you must have. Because I weren't even born then. Well, I was just born. I've got other weaknesses. We've all got weaknesses, haven't we? I mean, nobody's a superhero in this world. If there is, I'd love to meet them. Anything computer related was kind of looked at like a joke to much of the administration, as far as I can tell looking back. Yeah, how rude. It just gets me a bit salty that back in the early 2000s, which was when I was at high school, it was just IT. That was the only computer lesson. I mean, IT. You know, that is not development or making a game, because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I was hoping for. Around that time, just before my high school years, I had discovered RPG Maker, and I was fascinated about how to put games together. I just didn't have a clue how to go about it because I was a kid. And when I started high school, I was like really hoping for a lesson that would teach me that, but instead I kept bloody IT. Bloody IT. I'm sorry for any IT nerds that might be lurking. I'm probably being extremely offensive right now to your industry. I apologise. But I wanted to learn how to make games, not Excel. How was there a PC class? There you go, but not in the early. Exactly, Bell Sandwich. How? I want to know how you could have learned code in them years. It seemed maybe it was just my school. Maybe my school was the problem. Maybe they were just a bunch of Excel obsessors. I should have shown them RPG Maker. They'd have soon changed their minds. They'd have made a lesson just for that. That's not how computers work, like, you know, in virtually any meaningful way, which is what I'd have hoped for at a minimum, LOL. Yeah, damn it. So now, because of how the school curriculum was, we are like super old now and not having a clue what to do with things like me. I'm 30 and I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to write a line of code, but I'm managing. Managed to make a bit of a game so far, so go with me. But if I learned it at school, I'd be a pro by now. Who knows, maybe I wouldn't have. But I feel like I would have. If we had to like a proper lesson, I think I'd have liked it and it would have been my favourite. Instead of math flashcards, we used binary logic cards. Sounds like next level genius stuff, Grim. There weren't PC classes in high schools around here in general. Do you know if there might be now, hopefully? I think there definitely is, because my cousin, he's about how many years younger than me now? I think he's about 6 years younger than me. Might be a bit more than 6 years younger than me. Can't remember his actual age now, but I think he's in his early 20s. He said he learned computing at school. It was one of his subjects, and I was like, well, why didn't I get to? Geez, how do you all manage? So we have to find out what on earth this silly type error is now. that suddenly appeared. So what I am going to do is move that back to where it was before, which was the 4th plugin on the list. Because it seemed like it did absolutely fine then. It did its job then when it was up there, so maybe moving it down didn't help. So let's see, fingers crossed. I love how we're just having a good old rant about IT now. It's funny. And schools for not teaching us what we wanted to learn. I'm just like, come on guys. Sort it out. Start teaching kids proper subjects that are important. You don't want to be leaving school at 16 or 18 or whatever and not having a bloody clue what to do in life. I feel like I learnt nothing from school, in all honesty. What I learnt was what I taught myself. With Ed anything. So, makes you feel it was all pointless. And all I got faced with every single day was annoying kids. That's all I got faced with. I just wanted them out of my face. So all those years of mornings and afternoons gone to waste. I could have been at home on RPG Maker during all those hours, and I'd have already made an epic RPG by now. I'm mad. They wasted my time. Honestly, even game dev would be a good intro. Yeah, because kids would love that stuff. I mean, what kid doesn't like video games? I feel like having that as a lesson, kids would get genuinely excited. It would like be a dream come true for a lesson. The number one things kids should learn these days is budget. I have 3 kids and it's been a struggle over the years because school never... I know, I kind of agree. I think that in general, life lessons should be a subject as well, rather than bloody maths. Like, no offence to maths, but why does society care about turning kids into like perfect robots? It should be more about life lessons and things that are actually important that they're gonna need to know in life. Exactly like for things like Grim Exile just mentioned. I mean, if somebody has a passion in maths, and that is totally fine, and I'm all for that, but that should be the child's choice if they want to go down. That really shouldn't be forced upon every single child in the whole school. I feel like let the child decide what they want to focus on, and if they discover their passion early in life, then they'll be successful and stuff as young as possible. Then, like I say, if I started having RPG Maker lessons when I was a kid, I've already made my epic RPG series by now. Okay, we haven't got a type error this time, so I think it's all good. Gets kids hooked. Mind you, but it means to introduce the concept and drive interest in understanding more, that kind of thing. Though, to be honest, that's not a good rule of thumb. Nearly all my friends are well, but half of them burn money spontaneous like tomorrow. And Rose, it's because we are robots. It seems like that's what people care about. Just care about money and kids being able to know maths off the top of their head. And I'm going to tell you now, I forgot all the maths I was taught at school. Just don't know it. I use a calculator. So, what worse that was. To an extent, I think that kid-directed learning is good, but there are fundamentals that are really required. Math enables a lot of other things. I think math is just taught in a boring way, never taught with having fun with the concept. And I see your point there. I think the fact it's taught in such a boring way is what makes people forget it as they get older, because you're just kind of taught well, I was taught how to memorize things. I wasn't taught how to learn the pattern or the puzzle with maths, and I feel like if I was taught properly, then I might probably still remember. But if you're taught things by memory, eventually you're going to forget, aren't you? And which is exactly what's happened. So silly. And it just makes kids feel like crap as well, because if you're someone who isn't very good at maths and that's not your thing, you're going to get bullied and you're going to have low self-esteem because you're not good at it. But that kid who's not good at maths could be incredible at something else, but it's not being discovered because all that's being looked at is maths and focused on, which isn't fair. I had bad and also an excellent math teacher. It makes all the difference. Oh yeah, as well, having teachers makes a difference. If you're unlucky enough to have a not so good one, then you're screwed. Teach manipulation more than multiplication tables. Yeah, that's very exactly. I had a math multiplication poster, and we had to look at that and memorise it and do a test every single week. And at the time, I was a pro. I had memorised that in my head, and I could just reel those sums off like the back of my hand. But obviously now I've forgot them because I was just taught to memorise them instead of actually knowing the proper way of doing it. Practical is an example, not like building stone arc or something. Hi Rose and hey everyone else. Hi Naz, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Oh my god, you typed it all out. Yeah, about salmon instead of just atting. GJ. You couldn't memorise and still can't. Yeah, waste of time. Waste of time. So it's probably best that you didn't. There's a better way of teaching it. Oh damn, I still got the type error. Guys, are we really happy? Because I thought the bugs had gone, but they're still here. I did get rid of that. I did get rid of that one that was. But this is a different type error now. It's a completely different one. You know, it might be because I got rid of the. It might be because I got rid of the script, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that script has to be there. So I'm going to put it back and see if it works then. Because when things like this happen, you have to think, oh, what did I change? Because if it worked before, then you obviously changed something that's made it start working. So I have to just go back and remember. Thanks for stopping by the stream yesterday. Oh, awesome. That's so cool. I'm so glad that you guys are hanging out with each other too. Because that's what I want. I want you guys to all make friends. It's not just about me. It's about us as a friendship group together. Mail. I'm retiring my name once Twitch allowed me to change it. Something easier. Oh, cool. What are you thinking of having as your name, Naz? Oracle of Twilight. Hi, how are you doing? It's so good to see you again, Oracle. How are things going today? I failed math in 8th grade, nearly failed it in 9th and 10th, then figured out later mode to pick up info from data and tables, and it starts like it's second nature. Yeah, honestly, if somebody is failing at something, if you're a teacher, it's your job to figure out how they can do it awesomely, because everybody learns differently. But some teachers are just like, you're not clever, you're on bottom table now. And it's such like, how is a kid meant to feel being told that they're not clever? You just haven't taught them the proper way, you big doofus. Stupid teacher. I mean, that's just some teachers are amazing, but there's some teachers like that, and it just makes me mad because there shouldn't be one. Oh, we've made a blonde Jesus today. Nasty Nate is my old nickname from high school that turned into my hip hop alias. Oh, cool. I think you should have that. It's short and sweet and catchy. I just finished Life is Strange, interesting story and game. Oh, cool, Oracle. Did you cry? I've heard some people have cried at that game. I played the first one and I didn't cry because I never cry. That's why. But I haven't played the second one yet. But I know friends that did. Just the application of it in school was so abstract and crap. But was always really good with the theoretical and manipulation parts of math, which has helped me programming. I can't do languages though. Yeah, and it's fine. Like, everybody's bad at something. Always can improve, but there's always something you're going to be amazing at. And it seemed like you know what your strengths are, Paul, which is the main thing. That's awesome. You just haven't taught in proper way, big too much. This animation is awesome, love it. I can't believe we got a blood Jesus. It's terrible. Bleached his hair. It was an accident. Didn't mean to. Also, his name's Guffer today. It's because we might get a bug, so I'm just trying to rush through it. This is testing. Really enjoyed the plot, but the characters were a little flat. Yeah, it didn't move me emotionally enough for me to be in tears. I know that a lot of people were like it really got to them in the feels, and they were like in tears over the game, which, you know, I feel like sometimes certain storylines will just really get you. Like, every person's different. There's certain games out there and movies and forms of media and stories that have really made me like cry and stuff, but other people like, that's not sad. So everybody's different. Like, everybody gets affected by certain things more, and that's why we all have different favourite characters and different games and things, because we love what we are connected to. We still got that bloody type error. What is going on? What is happening today? Why does life want me to be troubleshooting forever? Which I'm completely exaggerating, because obviously we'll fix this. But it was meant to have been fixed before. The irony in not being able to do languages. I'm not even going to say that properly, but language. I'm terrible at learning languages that aren't computer languages as well. I cannot even talk in any other voice that isn't my own accent. So, yeah, I did learn German at school actually, and I forgot all that too, which is quite unfortunate. But I just don't think, I know, like, we were taught to memorise instead of the proper way. We're gonna let this subject go. I'm on a rant about schools today. Does the software ability to flag a breakpoint in the code or something? I have no idea. Like, all I know is this was working earlier. We got through, this was testing the game and everything was fine. I obviously made a couple of changes that have caused this type error, and it's up to me now to figure out what the problem is. And I did a change, I got rid of a couple of things, and I'm pretty sure it could be that, so I'm doing them one at a time. And it might be back, so will we get a type error? Will we? It'll appear now if it's there. Oh yeah, we still have. This is very, very strange indeed. So I think I've added everything back. And I must have deleted something I shouldn't have. Or just change something that I shouldn't have. And I cannot remember for the life of me. I definitely got rid of that plugin that was causing the type error originally, and all the other plugins seem to be working fine. But there's obviously something that I mean, I can do that thing again where I disabled them all and start finding out who the culprit is, but I feel like I don't have to do that, surely. I should just try and remember what I did differently. The only thing that I've done differently is literally just change the plugin. He gave me a new version, and about half an hour ago I changed it to that new version, and maybe I shouldn't have. So I'm going to just put the old version back in, because he might have changed something that has messed other things up. Because it's still a plugin in testing, you see. It's still a very new plugin, so it's normal if something has been edited. But I'm going to just put the old one back. Let's turn it off and see what happens. But it looks like today, this is going to be, it's been a troubleshooting stream in all honesty. But it's going to help. It's going to help the cutscenes be done quicker, and I still feel confident I'll get this fixed. It's just being a bit of a silly and doesn't want me to stop today with the troubleshooting. Doesn't want me to carry on with the cutscenes. Oh, take care about Sandwich. Hope the internet gets back to normal. Thanks for hanging out for the chats. Yeah, that's actually a good idea about Sandwich, about learning languages, capitalising each new word. I haven't actually been looking at the error. What is it? It's a type error, and we've been having a couple of those. There was some earlier on in the stream, and basically, usually, from what I'm aware in RPG Maker, you get those when there's plugin incompatibility issues. And because I've just added a new plugin, sometimes that happens. So I did find the culprit. I found the plugin culprit, and luckily it was a plugin that I wasn't using, so I just deleted it. And then it went away, the type error was gone, and it was working fine. We was walking on the map and we were playing the game. And then all of a sudden, in the last half hour, a type error's come back, and it's like, why? Because it was working fine. I deleted the bad plugin that was causing it. So I'm trying to like think back, what did I change? And like I said, one thing I did change was I changed the script to the updated one of the plugin, and maybe the updated one has been altered slightly to cause another type error. That's all I can think, because it was working fine before, but now I've changed the plugin back to how it was. I can test now to see if that type error is still there, and if it is still there, then it's not that, and at least we'll know it wasn't the plugin new code. It's another thing, and I'll just have to slowly find the culprit again of which plugin is causing it. That is all. It's a bit of a long job, but has to be done. Yeah, Jenny means verbally has been referenced by a wrong type. Can you show the error and place where the error is? Yeah, that's smart, Paul, because it's you can more likely work it out based on where it's happening in the game. But the moment it's actually happening is when, just before the custom character creator is about to end, just before we transfer into the village, the next scene. That's the point where the type error happens. So if we've still got it at this point, we'll look in the event at the moment that it does that and try and work out what's causing it. Enjoy your coffee, Naz. Hope it's super yummy. Because originally we was having the type error earlier on. We had it when we typed the name in. It would come up saying type error at this point. But we did sort out that bit. We sorted the culprit then. And it was a great moment to have fixed that. I didn't expect it to... Okay. Okay, it's gone. We're fine. Which means... the thing that was causing the type error was the update that the guy made to the plugin. And now I feel I have to tell him that, oh, hang on, your update has got a type error in it. it must have another incompatibility somewhere. But he's experimenting. I think he's well aware that, you know, as a new plugin, it's going to require a bit of changing. But the main thing is it's working for me. So I'm going to just make sure we don't get any type error in the menu, because sometimes that's happened as well. I've like randomly been looking for the menu and then I get a type error, so I like to thoroughly test things when we've got a new plugin. But it seems like everything's fine again, so we're all good, team. We're good, and we've got the text boxes as they should be. And I'm a happy one again. But it does mean that I can never update the plugin. That's the problem, because the updated plugin might cause a type error on my end, unless I message him and say that there's a type error in the new update. But he'd want me to tell him what the type error was, and I'd have to narrow down the plugin that was causing that type error so he could fix it, because he's not going to know, because he doesn't know what plugins I've got enabled with his. It's such a hard job being a plugin creator, because with all these other plugins that are out, it's like, well, what if some clash? It must be a really hard job. But what I am going to do is we're going to start again, and we're going to make Jesus properly this time, and we're going to get the game saved. In fact, one thing I am going to do just quickly is delete all the old saved files, because we don't want the old save files anymore, because they're all incompatible. So we're gonna start again, resave everything, and we'll carry on with the cutscene. But we don't need to like play it properly, we'll just speed through it. Luckily we're still pretty early on. If we were far through, this would be, my goodness, we'd have to really do some testing to make sure it was okay. But sometimes it's always, why I feel more comfortable making sure the game, you know, we've got the plugins we want as early on as possible, so that it doesn't come back to haunt us at a later date. And then we have to like do rigorous testing through hours of game dev and playtime. Might be something else that was trying to work with the plugin as well. Yeah, he's literally just released the plugin, and I have a feeling that he wouldn't have released it if it wasn't for me having this problem. But he saw my forum post and he was like, oh, I happen to be working on a plugin that fixes this for you. He says he's only, you know, it's very early release, so I was like, oh, is it gonna work though? And it does now, which is great, but I'm pretty sure he's expecting to have to fix quite a bit of it, because there'll probably be other people that download it too, and they'll tell him if there's any problems, and he'll get it working perfectly in the end, I'm sure. I'm just really grateful that someone out there actually has fixed this for me. Can you save your project with versioning, like game version 0.23.7, or how it make you go back to the working version? Oh, that's interesting, Grim. I haven't looked into that actually, but it will be, it looks like something like that would be a good idea, especially if we're far through the game and we ever need to do something like this again, and there's way more hours that we've made. I'm gonna go on RPG Maker forums and find out if there's an easier way of doing things like this in the future. But right now, because we're early on, we've only done the first village and the first dungeon so far. We haven't got too much to get through, so that is a relief. But also, I mean, you guys might have already seen this, but if you haven't, you'll get to see exactly what we have done so far. The story so far, part 1. I'm actually really excited to do the next bit, which I think we could easily get done in February. Maybe towards the end of Feb, the next one will be released, because we have got to work on another cutscene first, I'd say, before I have to release the next one. I keep going to check if it's working because I get paranoid, because I've had all these random type errors just creep up on me, and I'm like, oh, so I like to double check. But everything is being nice to me today. Well, now it's been nice to me. It hasn't been nice to me all of today. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying earlier, at the moment we're walking through things in Lakefall because I still need to make a parallax map of Lakefall, which is our village here. So it isn't, I'm not fussing about like bumping into things we shouldn't yet. We'll be working more on Lakefall when we finished the second main quest, because we're going to come back here after the second main quest, and I feel like main quest 3 will be unlocked here in Lakefall for the next part of the story. So it'll be a good opportunity to return here then. Okay, so the mini map, I want to set it up so I'm still like working on when that appears and when it doesn't, but there is a UI option to hide it, which I'm gonna have in, which I think will be very useful. Pleasant. I don't know why we got random door walking around, and I think it's because I added it so we could teleport to another area of the forest quicker during testing, so I'll have to delete that. It's not meant to be there. Battles are working fine. My goodness, Jesus runs fast. But yeah, this is normal walking speed, but as we're rushing right now, we're speeding through this dungeon. We can't waste time strolling. We need to get cracking. So yeah, we're gonna, this is main quest 1 right now, talking to her, but all her dialogue boxes need repositioning now that we've got the new plugin, which will be great because it's gonna just be so much easier doing things that way now. No longer plotting X and Y coordinates for every single dialogue box. I don't know how I did it. It's way more simple now. So this save point's not going to be here in the real game. I've just got this here for testing at the moment, and so we can test things quicker. So, because we're working on this cutscene, and now it should be working great. Everybody's dialogue positions should be perfect. The only flaw is Oliver, this little guy here, because he's a small sprite. We need to kind of put a buffer, is buffer the word, to like make it go lower. So I'm going to see if we can do that next. but only for Oliver. It's the perfect height for all the others. It's just such a joy that this is working now. As if you were here during yesterday's stream, you'll have realised the nightmare of that, like finding the perfect X and Y coordinate for all the dialogue boxes. It was like such a ridiculously time-consuming task. It took up like 80% of the cutscene creation, that did, I swear. So this is just gonna make, it's just gonna make everything way easier. I'm so glad, I'm so happy right now. Do you actually see that as a territory? I don't think it's a make or break situation. Well, no, like, honestly, if say no one happened to post on my forum post last night and say, oh, I happen to have a plugin that'll fix this for you. If say that never happened, I would have just carried on doing it that way. I'd have put the coordinates in and done it that way, which it's slow. Like I said, this is just completely for time saving purposes, which is just it's just very nice to know that I can focus more on other things and get cutscenes done more effectively with this approach. But no, it's definitely not make or break. Like, I wouldn't have like thrown in the towel on the project just because I didn't get it done that way. I'd have coped. I'd have just carried on doing the positioning like before, even though it would have taken up much the time. Still, I'd have done it because there wouldn't have been any other solution. So I'd have had no choice. You could also move Oliver up the top of the barrel on the right. That could also work. Oh yeah, like move his sprite up so he's, yeah, that's another option. I guess I guess it's like he would kind of possibly look like he's floating if we did it that way, which he might not, but there's always that worry. And I kind of like being him on the same height level as the others, so it'll be cool to do it this way, if there is a way to do it, I guess. So what I'm going to do now is look to find out. So the answer should be here somewhere. I'm looking for some sort of buffer thing, a code for that. I'm sure there will be, just like looking in the right place to find out what it is. Because it's definitely not too much of a pain, like if there is a bit of buffer code to move it down on the y-axis. Because I could just copy and paste that little bit of code for all of Oliver's dialogue boxes, and it's not as time consuming as it would have been to plot his coordinates. So and the sad thing is with RPG Maker, it's very difficult to find out what those X and Y coordinates are. It's not as simple as like finding a square and being like, oh, it's that. It's honestly, it took like dozens of test plays to get the right spot. And it's because I've kind of set things up at a different resolution anyway, so to what the default is, so that makes it extra more complicated. And I have a zoom plugin, and it just kind of messes up everything. So I'm just glad it's sorted now. All right, Rose, heading to work. I hope you and the rest of the room have an amazing day, evening, or have a good day at work, Naz. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. I hope it goes well. Okay, so does it say here? Because I have a name box buffer here. So they should definitely have a buffer for the actual message box if they've got a setting for the name box buffer. I'm gonna Google it actually, and there might be a solution on the RPG Maker forums. It could be staring at me right in the face here in a text code, but I'm blind and I miss things sometimes. Also, the person has replied to my thing. No problem, yeah, very glad to it's working now again. I still want to do a few more things to this one yet to myself to better scroll and more plugin command options. I'll fix the issue with Minilabor 2 just for best compatibility. Cool, so it looks like he's very keen on keeping the plugin as good as possible, which is awesome. So any like little type errors and that he's very willing to fix, which is very encouraging to be using a plugin by somebody who's happy to keep it as good as it can be. I tend to be quite careful about what plugins I do use. I only want to use ones that are well supported, just so it doesn't come back to haunt us. So RPG Maker MV, message box buffer. There might be a script. If there's not an actual message code thing for it, then maybe there's a script. But I'll look into this. This is something I don't necessarily have to. I can look into this more off stream. It's just like such a small little problem that could probably be fixed either quick or slow, depending on things. Sometimes it's hard to predict. I found a couple of things. I'm gonna put this up now. This is for RPG Maker VX. It's not going to be the right code. No, that's not the problem that I've got. Right, I'm just gonna have a quick peek at something. Damn it for having a tiny character that doesn't feel the sprite sheet, but you know, it's got to be cute and small, so we've got no choice. But I'm gonna, oh, what's this? Message window positions? Set the message window. You know, I'm wondering if we did message position Y and then did -10 or something, whether that'd work. This is a is it a plugin? Yeah, it's a plugin command. This might not work You know, it might not like detect this, but it might also work, so it's worth trying. But if not, I'll look for another solution later off stream. So -24, because that's half the size of a sprite, isn't it? Oh no, it's actually -48 because we've got double big sprites. They're ×2. So I don't think this is going to work though, for some reason, because we're doing it before this little bit of code here, but I kind of want to see what happens, so we'll do a test play. Hi Diver! Good evening to you all. Hope the weather on your side is nice and chill. Stay safe, comfy hugs and kisses. Oh, thank you. And thank you for sharing your cute emotes as well. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Thank you for the love. It looks like the box position is exactly where it was before, and that doesn't surprise me because it's ignored the plugin command like I expected it to, because it's just updated it to what is there. There's going to be a way to do this, it's just finding out how. So for now, I'm gonna just leave that bit and focus on that another time. We got to think what's going to come in the scene next, and we got to the point where Alvira says, are you still doing that rusty oil drum, Meryl? When are you going to break up with that waste of space? So that is here. Let's just get our dialogue up. We also have to update Woody's sprite to the non-wet soggy box, because you don't get soggy this early in the game, so we have to change it. Okay, so here, Meryl says. So, copy Meryl. Did we pick a good face for Alvira as well? I think, yeah, we did. We did some Alvira face expressions yesterday. So we have got that. Meryl's mad face. Oh, hang on. I'm accidentally overwriting Alvira's dialogue box, so let's just... Oh my goodness, Woody comes to life now. Okay, so Woody, what event is he? Let's just zoom in so we can see this card a bit better. Woody is event number 6. So copy this. We'll change it to event number 6 and we'll change the image to Woody. And Woody's not going to jump, so we'll delete those. I don't think he needs to jump. I tend to, we'll only make them jump if they get like mad or excited. We won't overdo it. So Woody says something witty. Something witty and cocky. I can already tell how much faster this is going. And the next bit, oh, Elvira again. Oh, we need to pick Woody's dialogue box. We didn't even pick one for him. Oh, we haven't even set up Woody's faces yet. Okay, so we're getting pretty close now, though. Looking at the dialogue, we after this one, we've only got 4 dialogue boxes left until the hijacking bit begins. So we're getting closer, and I am 100% sure now we've solved this little bug in troubleshooting that we will be working on the hijacking scene tomorrow. It will be stream 99, so it's one stream before our special one. I'll remind you again that I won't be streaming on Thursday. I'm taking the day off to work on the website. I need the extra time, so I'm moving the stream 100 special stream and launch to Monday. And I'll mention that on the Discord too. But yeah, stream 99 tomorrow, last stream of the week, and we will be doing some. We'll just chat about the hijacking scene and try and make it as awesome as possible, basically. But in the meantime, before then, I might as well just finish this dialogue, considering we're so close to the end. So Photoshop, let's get Woody's face up. Now I'm going to open someone that we can use as a template, so probably Meryl. And I think I have I said Woody's? I have. So we've got non-wet Woody, which is great. Yeah, I think that is where it needs to be centered. So we're gonna see what expressions we can get out of Woody. Woody might be one that I'd go into the generator for to get some different shaped eyebrows and mouth, because he's, out of all the Barrel Companion crew, he's the one who I believe has the most human features. I mean, they all do, but Woody's in particular is 100% character generated. I think the nose isn't, though. The nose is, but the eyebrows, eyes and mouth are taken from the character generator, whereas Carol's eyebrows I made myself, the lips as well, and the eyes. Meryl's kind of mostly character generator as well, though, but I kind of edited them a little bit more in the face than I did Woody's, so it won't be difficult to get Woody some more varied expressions. Okay. But you can actually, you know, he looks worried like that. Just flipping those eyebrows does work. Just gonna We don't want the nose flipped though, so. Oh no, not that way. But somehow I don't think flipping his mouth is going to be successful. It has been with the others, but this mouth is going to look full on strange flipped, I bet. So I'll probably just get him another mouth. Oh, okay. Wow. Woody. He looks absolutely revolted. Like something has disgusted him for sure. And that worked. I think we need to delete that here. We don't need that bit, that line. But it's actually not a bad disgusted face. But first of all, I'm gonna keep the original though, because the worried eyebrows with the smile's actually a good expression too. So, but I am gonna copy and paste that one so that we can do the disgusted mouth. The first boxes creep me out. They're like mimic chest but more evil. You think Woody's evil? That's an interesting theory. Somebody said, Richard, that this box is very handsome. I think someone's got a bit of a man crush on this box. It's very funny, isn't it, how beauty is subjective. One character can creep one out and be extremely irresistible to another. But there's only one vase box, don't worry, Richard. You won't get haunted by more than one vase box character. Woody's very unique. He's one on his own. But there are 4 barrels. That's like a hard side face. It's brilliant. I love it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, I love that. I wasn't expecting it to be as wonderful as it is. I thought it would look terrible flipped, but seriously, eyebrow flipping and mouth flipping works. Can confirm. It works. Do we need to have that raised up one though? If you want to be lazy with expressions like me, and you just want to get some quick ones out without redrawing, you know, it's a good trick. Can we get a foot? I think. So I'm going to try and get an extra one out of him as well. So I wonder how this one will look. If we have his normal eyebrows with that face. This is kind of a pattern we've been following with all the characters. We've been getting the eyebrows flipped and the mouth flipped, but combined, which creates 4 different options. It's pretty fun to see how they end up looking. Some of them have needed slight edits, like the ones with lips. You've had to make sure that the bit with the dip is not there, and that it's added when it's flipped. Oh my goodness, he looks like so mad. Like, that's a mad face, whereas that one's disgusted or really fed up, hard sigh face. But God, do not mess with him when he's like that. That's for sure. Just back to game. I can't wait for on Kickstarter. Oh wow, Van, what game's that? That sounds cool. I hope it does well. I hope it gets all the monies it needs. Okay. So Woody's faces are done. We'll get them saved. And I think it's just Hank's faces now. We can do the same to Hank that we've done to Woody. All the others have their expressions. Pathfinder RPG game. Oh, cool. That's awesome. First game they put out, so I had to back this one. Oh, cool. I haven't played any of them, but they do sound fun. Okay, guys, I can't believe what the time is, but it's coming to the end of stream already. What is happening? Where has the day gone? But I'm happy that everything's fixed. All the little issues we had at the start of stream are now gone, and we've got a more speedy and less time consuming way to do the dialogue boxes now, which is wonderful. So everybody, I'm gonna head off now. I'm gonna have my dinner because I'm a hungry one. Yeah, the kids strategy just went live about 30 minutes ago. Oh, already. So it's brand new then on there. It's exciting. Wait, you can't leave. I still have 4 hours of work left. Oh, well, I hope the rest of work goes by well. It's been good to have you here, Grim. Thanks for hanging out. And Van, thank you for all the lurking. Richard, thank you for hanging out too. And anybody else that's been here today. I appreciate you all. And tomorrow, we're back again. It'll be the last stream of the week tomorrow. I do usually stream on Thursdays as well, but not this Thursday, just because we want stream 100 the website launch, and I need a little bit longer for that, so it won't be Thursday. It'll be Monday instead, unless something terrible happens. Then it won't be Monday. It'll be pushed back till Tuesday, but I am very sure that we can. Those 3 days we'll be ready. So yay, it'll be fun. Be lurking and working tomorrow. Yay! So thanks for hanging out, guys. Have the best day. Take care.